Good morning, Chandler businesses. I am so excited. We have newly appointed County Assessor Eddie Cook here with us, joining us for our policy series. Good morning, Assessor Cook.
Well, good morning to you and to the rest of the business community.
So let's talk a little bit about your new position. Tell us a little bit about what your responsibilities are at the assessor's office.
Well, it's has been a very big change for me, being, on the Gilbert Town Council for over 9 years, basically, where you have the ability to, develop policy. You're a policymaker. And then there's times where you're in an executive role, and then sometimes you're in a legislative role, and a judicial role as well. And being part of the county, I thought I understood county government, and I have a new view now of how the county works. A lot of the county that I had thought, as it relates to the one team culture that we've had in the town of Gilbert for many, many years, I've learned that there's lots of silos in county government, and each of the elected offices really runs their own business unit in a lot of ways. So as much as we learn about and know about the county supervisors, that kind of manage a lot of the different things in the county, each of the elected offices, like the county attorney, the county recorder, the county sheriff, the county treasurer, even the county assessor, all of us have a certain constitutional obligation that we're asked to fulfill. And that happens throughout all 15 counties in the state of Arizona. So for me, when I first started, and accepted the assignment to be the county assessor, one of the things that I had to do right away was ramp up very quickly. And I felt like I had been drinking from the fire hose for the first few weeks, of learning what the county assessor office did and does. Now, as a council member, I had a very big appreciation of what the county assessor provides as a service. I mean, each of the municipalities really rely on the county assessor for many aspects of our business. Most importantly has been, when it comes to municipalities, the ability to use many tools as it relates to revenue generation through taxation. You have your sales tax, you have property tax, you have secondary property tax, and the evaluation of the county assessor is very critical component as it relates to one of these tools that municipalities uses for collecting revenue. So for us in the town of Gilbert, we don't have a primary property tax, but we do have a secondary property tax that has been used to basically pay off the debt or the bonds that voters approved. Mm-hmm. So one of the things that I learned being on the council is that every year, which is probably the most controversial part of being on the council, is creating, or setting the new levy for the upcoming fiscal year related to property tax, primary property tax, or secondary property tax. And I know in Gilbert that our community in Gilbert doesn't want, government or local government to raise taxes. And one of the things I learned in the 9+ years is that in Maricopa County, very much like in Gilbert, very much like in Chandler, we live in a very wonderful community where our properties are, from, the back in the 2008, 2009-ish area when the economy dropped. Since then, our economy has improved, but our property value has improved as well. And so what happens is that the county assessor is just kind of following the trend of our properties increasing. So every year you'll see a little card that comes from the county assessor, and they evaluate your property, and you've been noticing that it's been slowly increasing over time. And that's just because of the nature of how well, Arizona and Maricopa County has done, from a financial economic boom that we've been experiencing for a number of years. Well, from a policymaker, from a council perspective, when you keep your property tax rate flat and the evaluations continue to go up, well, you get more revenue in from the municipalities. So a lot of the elected officials will always say, well, I kept your rate flat. And everyone thinks, oh, that's what a great, policymaker. But in reality, that flat rate is applied to the assessed value, and that means more income is coming in. So in the town of Gilbert, for me, for many, many years, I've watched and studied this. I was like a student of the assessor's, evaluation.